All right, hello Meat Geeks, Jacob Cordero here, top geek over at smokingmeatgeeks.com. And what we're going to do today is get into the Pitt Barrel Cooker by the Pitt Barrel Company, Pitt Barrel Cooker Company. And we're going to go ahead and unpackage it and put it all together and show you why it's our #1 pick for the best smoker under $500. Mostly the style of cooker this is, it's uses like a convection style cooking. And with that, the smoke gets equally spread throughout. You get an even cook with the heat also circulating perfectly. And it's a little science kind of behind it. But it's also the same idea behind the UDS, the ugly drum smoker. And it's much easier than going out and actually putting together one. So this is the main reason we also like this guy, because it's based on a solid concept. It's super affordable, and it comes pretty much shipped ready to go. So comparing this to the work that you put into the UDS, which I don't really want to admit it, but took us probably 3 days to put it together entirely. I mean, we worked on it an hour or two here and there. But nonetheless, this, if you buy it as a gift or you wanted to get it for somebody, it's not kind of setting them up for a weekend worth of work, as you'll see here in just a second. So these guys are family owned and operated out of Kentucky, also veteran owned and operated. When we were looking to review this guy, we wanted to purchase the newer model. This one has a few upgrades on the older one. But when we went to go purchase it, we looked online over at Amazon.com for it. They no longer have it there, but you can get it right from the Pitt Barrel Cooker Company. And if you click the link either on the video or on our website, we'll also get a little kickback credit for making the purchase. So when you purchase it from there, free shipping. And like I said, it's under the $500 mark, so it meets our best smoker under $500, and it's actually almost half of that price. So it's a great deal. And again, those are a great group of guys over there. So thank you guys also for sending us the cooker to take a look at it a little bit closer and kind of explain some of the benefits of this cooker and why it's hands down our #1 pick for the best smoker under $500. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, unpack it out of the box. So you can see that the packaging looks pretty neat, kind of sets the tone for what you can expect to get inside the cooker. And the quality of the build comes again shipped free to your door. Right on top is your instructions. And again, the idea is that the setup is super simple. Again, this is not one of those things where you purchase it and then end up with a weekend project, which is super nice. So let's go ahead and get it out here. And I'll go ahead and just lay out all the parts for us and then kind of give you a shot from above. And here's the drum itself, and it pretty much just slides right out of this. Now, they recently upgraded the steel from a 20 gauge to an 18 gauge, so it's a little bit heavier than the previous model, and so it makes for a sturdier, more resilient build. And one of the things you can notice here, I don't know if you can see it, but I don't have any tools like laid out here. And that's really one of the craziest things about how this thing ships, is it pretty much comes straight ready to go, right? So not a lot of building or assembling like we talked about. And I'm just going to kind of throw stuff around here so that we can get it all spread out, and that you can make out everything that comes in the kit here, okay? Alright, so and that's also an upgraded grate as well. Alright, and we even have ourselves a little bit of a rub in here. So we're going to have the lid here, and then you're going to have a stand. So this stand right here, and then we've got a grate. If you get onto their website, they have a bunch of recipes for cool things like baking stuff and doing like different types of dishes. In the box here we have our hooks and stuff that we're going to use for hanging. And there's the grate. We have the rods in this box here. There's the barrel, right? So instead of the 50-gallon barrel, it's the 30-gallon barrel. So this is a little bit more conducive to not only shipping, but also for smoking and temperature control. Okay, and so you can see our heavy-duty coal pan here. This one has also been upgraded from the last model. And we have our cooking grate, and then our lid, and our stand. So really, as you can see, everything is pretty much already assembled. If you come in here and take a look inside, you can notice that this is where you're going to be able to rest your grate on. The handles have been bolted in on the sides there. You can see the bolts from the handles. So that's all done pretty well. And then down here is our vent. Okay, and this vent is really the key to how this thing maintains its own heat over a course of time for such a long duration. And that's one of the other reasons why we've chosen the Pitt Barrel as our #1 smoker under the $500 mark, because again, it maintains its own temperature for those long smokes for the brisket and such. And again, you're going to see that this is going to yield a better job than many of the smokers that you can purchase for maybe $1,000, even some commercial smokers like the $1,500 range. When you have your meats in here, you basically are hanging them off the rods that run parallel this way, and all the juices from that meat, well, they're falling directly onto your coals, which give that a great smoky flavor as those juices drip off into the coals and evaporate into nice, tasty, juicy smoke. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this bad boy put together. And as I said, it's pretty much already assembled. So all we got to do is kind of put the tray in there, put it on the stand, run the rods through, and then we're not going to assemble the hooks to put through the meat right now because we're not actually going to smoke with it. Okay, so here we have it all assembled. It took me all of about 4 minutes to put it together, and the most amount of work I had to do was screw this handle right to the lid. It comes with 2 bolts, 2 washers, nuts, and also a screwdriver in case you need it, and a wrench. But I was pretty much able to tighten most of that by hand, and then use the screwdriver for the last couple of turns. So one of the things that with the new cooker is they went from a powder-based coating, which what the old model was, and have upgraded to more of an enamel type coat, which is what you'll notice on like the Weber grills, and you know how those can pretty much last forever. If you own one of those, you know that to be true. So they also upgraded from a 20 gauge steel to an 18 gauge steel on this latest model. So this is pretty much, you know, like as far as, let's say, the alternative to actually building it yourself, where you have to go out and find the drum, then you got to treat the drum, and then and then pretty much design it as far as, making sure you're putting the air holes in the right place, the right size. But this thing, the science has all been done on it. So what you'll notice here is that the bottom of the grill here, where you'll see, or the bottom of the smoker here, where you see the air hole, this you basically adjust to the elevation. Here we're in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, and so we sit at about 1,000, right about 1,000 feet in elevation. So that's the smallest, basically the smallest setting. So it's about 1/4 that we're going to cover it. I think if you're up to like, I think at like 8,000 feet is pretty much where you're at 3/4 closed. But for the most part, you'll adjust it and just tighten it to be right at about 1/4 for where we're at 1,000 feet here. And then that basically keeps the internal temperature within this thing just right, keeps just enough air on the coals to keep them burning just how you want them, to keep you that perfect 225 area where you want to be when you're smoking your meats. And then you just have to make sure that you have your rods in and the lid sealed. And let me go ahead and show you. Let's go ahead and take a look inside and kind of see the build and design of the interior of this thing. And so you'll see here, if we open it up, you'll get your 2 rods that are running across. Here's where you basically hang all your meat from. And I'll show you the hooks here. So you have your hook that you would put your meat on. And then it actually comes with a pretty cool little handle if you don't have any gloves and don't want to just grab the meat. It's got this wooden handle that you can use to just fish the meat right out of there. Okay. And then at the bottom you'll see that, or if you can't see, yeah, you can see it there, the grate here. And this is also upgraded, so that's a more heavier steel, or I mean a more heavier metal than was used before on the charcoal basket. And so the way that the charcoal basket's designed, it's pretty easy if you, like even if you just put a piece of tinfoil underneath the basket for cleanup, all the ashes will burn down, and you know, you basically just take the tinfoil, roll it up, and then that's your cleanup. Or you can always just tip this thing over and empty it. It's pretty easy to manage. Again, another part of the smoking science of this thing is that you have to kind of have these rods in here for the air to be at that perfect flow that you want it to, make sure that it maintains the temperature that you're looking for. That's pretty much it. So again, it's a super simple concept, super simple idea, but makes for just an amazing smoker. And again, like rivals those smokers that are up in the $500 range for sure. So the other thing about this is that it's super easy to just kind of pick up and go with it. So you can pretty much just pack all the stuff inside that you need for smoking or cooking or grilling or whatever if you're going to go camping. We go camping a lot, so it's easy to just kind of put everything in there and throw it in the back of the truck, and then you just kind of have to make sure that basically, since you're going to probably be leaving where you're at before the coals can cool down, that you take some kind of tray or something with you that you can empty out the coals into safely, and be able to douse them with water or whatever, or maybe if you have a hole that you're going to dig and bury them. So you just want to make sure that you're careful with that. But outside of that, I mean, really, I mean, even like if you have a Weber grill, this thing is almost easier and more ideal to take with you than like a small Weber grill would be, just because of the way it's designed and how you can load everything in there. So again, for the money, $300 is what it runs, and that includes the shipping for this guy. Again, we've seen smokers that, you know, even pellet smokers and those kinds of things that you're looking at $700, $750 for the automatic style smoker, and this thing is pretty much automatic. So that was really, it was hard for us not to choose this one because we've always been a big fan of a UDS. This is that easy, simple, quick way that you can obtain that style of convection smoking for the flavor that really what you're looking for when you smoke a meat is to have that nice balanced smoky flavor all throughout. And of course you want the meat to cook properly, and you want to be able to obtain that nice bark on the brisket, and that's really what you are going to need this for if you're looking to try to obtain that good smoke without having to really spend the money on you know, on a big time smoker. So again, these guys are family owned and operated, veterans. And if you are going to purchase it, if you click the link from our website or from our video, we'll get a kickback credit on it, and that's how we kind of stay funded to continue doing these things and to be able to bring you guys the reviews that you can count on before you spend your hard-earned money, and to make sure that it's going to be exactly what you're looking for. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. Subscribe, visit our site, check out our other articles and reviews, and we'll see you next time.